Just as the Earth revolves around the Sun, the entire solar system revolves around the central sun called Alcyone in the Pleiades star cluster, as explained in the previous video. The donut-shaped golden ring that runs perpendicular to the orbit is the photon belt, and our solar system passes through the ring twice during one revolution. Every time it passes through the photon belt every 12,000 years, our entire solar system is affected, leading to catastrophic natural disasters. So let's take a look at why it evokes such cataclysms. Photons are essentially light particles. When perceived as waves, they are a type of electromagnetic wave. Photon energy is a form of cosmic energy, but it remains an unknown factor in Earth science. Photonic energy is a high-dimensional energy that influences and evolves almost all living things, not only at the atomic level but also at the genetic level. That is why it is said that our bodies will transform from carbon-based to silicon-based, and that DNA will have 12 strands of spirals. On a cosmic scale, when each planet in our solar system passes through the photon belt, the photon energy penetrates the atmosphere, lithosphere, mantle, and outer core of the planet. But it primarily reacts with the inner core. This is thought to be due to the extremely high density of the inner core. Photon energy reacts with and heats up the inner core of the Earth, causing the temperature of the surrounding outer core to rise as well. Consequently, the speed of the outer core's rotation also accelerates. However, the outermost layers of the outer core are cooler than the deep layers, leading to convection slips, which in turn weaken the magnetic field generated by the rotation, similar to gyroscope. Since the instability in convection in the outer core does not manifest uniformly, magnetic anomalies on Earth are only observed in certain areas, appearing as magnetic holes. As a result, migratory birds that rely on the geomagnetic field lose their way, and dolphins and whales are found washed up on shore. Moreover, atypical auroras have begun to be observed all over the world. They are shared on social media and praised as beautiful, but they actually signal a critical situation that our solar system faces every 12,000 years. Let's examine the types of auroras that indicate such a critical situation for the Earth. 1. Auroras that are usually observed only in the Arctic, Northern Europe, and Alaska are now seen worldwide. 2. Auroras are observed even near the equator during prominent solar flares. 3. Red auroras are being observed in various locations. 4. Light pillars appear even in the absence of auroras. Auroras occur when the solar wind interacts with nitrogen and oxygen in the atmosphere. Normally, the solar wind does not reach the lower parts of the atmosphere because it is shielded by the geomagnetic field. They were previously only seen near the poles under the right conditions. However, they can now be observed globally, including in southern Europe, North America, and even Japan. Auroras typically appear green at altitudes of around 100 kilometers above the ground, blue or purple below that, and red above 200 kilometers. Red auroras are extremely rare and will only be observed during severe geomagnetic storms, but they have now been seen at southern latitudes and at altitudes of less than 90 kilometers. Additionally, light pillars, which used to be visible only in the presence of auroras due to ice crystals in the atmosphere reflecting light, can now be observed brightly without auroras. It is speculated that charged particles from space penetrates areas where geomagnetic field lines are weakened, interacting with air molecules along these lines to produce light pillars. The weakening of the Earth's magnetic fields in certain areas, which lowers their altitude, can explain these phenomena. Scientists attribute this to solar flares and geomagnetic storms. This is indeed true, as the Sun itself is affected by the photon belt, and charged particles are being emitted by solar flares on an unprecedented scale. But that's not all the impacts of the photon belt. As the Earth's core heats up, magma becomes more active, rising to the surface from deep within, causing earthquakes and volcanic eruptions worldwide. This high-temperature magma heats the oceans from below, and as ocean temperatures rise, water vapor is released into the atmosphere, resulting in unprecedented hurricanes and rainfall. Of course, carbon dioxide emitted by humans can also contribute to global warming, but it is more reasonable to consider that the recent abnormal weather and drastic climate changes are cyclical natural phenomena that occur every 12,000 years. If that is the case, isn't it time for humanity to unite on a global scale to address these issues, overcoming the divisions of nation and race, as well as economic and political boundaries? The Earth is now at a critical juncture. The Earth is a living organism. The Earth is not separate from you. In fact, you are the Earth. And you are a microcosm of the universe. What choices will you make? It all depends on your inner awareness.